and welcome along to another episode of Robin and Jane in the Stalls. What have we been up to this week? Well, we've been back at the Grand Opera House here in Belfast for a truly magical and spectacular show, direct from the West End. The C.S. Lewis classic, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, has arrived in Belfast. There was lots of excited families in the theatre last night, and of course, Jane, we were there with them, and for a lot of people in the audience, a lot of adults, it was kind of a very nostalgic feeling for people who had read the book as a child and now coming to see this kind of rather dark adaptation now.
Yes, it was dark, but then the original is dark. You're right, it was a bit of a nostalgia trip for those of us of a certain age, and actually lots of people who read it or had it read to them as a child. I remembered I positively needed counselling after the death of Aslan. You know, that was a real trauma, and thank goodness he came back, like Jesus Christ. We'll come on to religious symbolism. But I think The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, for me, the witch was the star, Katie Stevens. I don't know if you agree. I think there was a moment when she shot up to the top of the proscenium arch and had suddenly an enormous billowing skirt that the dancers had some fun with, like round the maypole. And that was quite spectacular, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, she definitely was the star of the show. And when you think of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, you also think that the lion, Aslan, should be the star of the show as well. But I have to admit, he was done as a puppet with an actor playing him as well. But for me, Aslan was a little bit disappointing.
I agree. I was disappointed in Aslan. The puppet looked great, and I thought of our beloved Warhorse, but it wasn't quite in the same league. I thought the rather attractive guy, Stanton Wright, who played Aslan, did as good a job as he could, but to split the part into two seemed a bit implausible. I couldn't see the rationale behind it, to be perfectly honest. You could have had the lion's mouth moving and those great wonderful roars where he rouses Narnia to rise up and defeat the wickedness, the sin, the White Witch. I mean, that's what we wanted. And we wanted him dying as the great lion and rising as the great lion, I think.
Exactly. And we think of the people who have done the voices. I mean, it was Liam Neeson did the voice in the film, but I thought, I mean, imagine that voice opening up and the voice of Brian Blessed or somebody coming out. That would have been the way to do it.
That would have been wonderful, because in a way this is a different kind of Lion King. He is the king. He is the king of Narnia and of the known world, and is redemptive. At the beginning was a little bit slow. There were some what I call longueur in this. I mean, we see the evacuees, the four children, being sent away from London and the railway station scene. At the beginning, I thought that was very good, but it just went on for a bit too long. I liked the fact there was colourblind casting in the children, who were all played by black actors. And for me, the star and the standout performance came from Lucy, who is in a way the star of the novel. And she was played by a very good young actor named Kudzai Mangombe, and I think she has a great future. She was very luminous, actually. I wasn't sure about Edmund, but it's his debut performance. I thought his accent was a little bit all over the place, but he fought well, and you believed that he had become addicted to the famous Turkish delight handed him by the White Witch.
Exactly. Now, we have to mention the stagecraft in the show as well. We've already mentioned how the White Witch was launched above the stage and everything, and that was pretty spectacular. But there were other spectacular scenes as well. And the set, I thought, with the big clock background that changed from time to time, right through to how they went through the wardrobe, and even the guys who were doing the puppets and things as well. Everything on that stage was cleverly thought out and actually quite spectacular.
Yes, it was cleverly thought out. And when we went through the wardrobe and entered the world, which was higher up and then came down to our level, it was fascinating. It was this parallel existence, which is maybe the imagination, maybe a bit the subconscious, all sorts of things. But it wasn't cold. I mean, we're going through a bit of a heat wave at the moment, so maybe that was difficult, but it didn't seem as as chilly as it ought to normally. I liked Mr. Tumnus, the faun, who betrays initially his friend, the daughter of Eve. I liked the two beavers. There was a lot to like about this. I enjoyed the dancing and the singing, which was English folky, and there were some songs about rising for Narnia and so on. But I think they slowed the action, and I think that was a slight shame.
They became very artsy, didn't they, with the movement and the songs and stuff? Even though, like you, I really did enjoy it, and I enjoyed all of the songs and the movement scenes as well. And some of them were quite spectacular. You would think almost that you were watching an interval act at Eurovision, wouldn't you?
Yes, yes, you would. But thankfully, we didn't get the rest of the Eurovision wrapped around it. No, we were wrapped around in the redemptive power of Aslan, which was great. I think I don't know. The children in the audience seemed to enjoy it, but it was dark, and there was quite a lot of rustling of sweetie papers. So maybe a bit distracted by the sweets. I'm not sure.
And some very young children who were crying at the end of the show as well. I mean, who were possibly too young to be brought to this. So if you do have very young children, get yourselves a babysitter.
Yes, I think you're right. It's not for very young children because there's a lot of death in it. I mean, Edmund dies and has to be brought back to life, and of course he apologizes. It's about forgiveness. Um, it's an interesting show. I mean, of course, C.S. Lewis was a local man. He was brought up in Northern Ireland in Belmont, and apparently Narnia was based on memories of places like Rostrevor and Tollymore Forest Park. So that's interesting too. There is a local angle to all of this. We got the obligatory standing ovation, of course, didn't we?
Which will always happen in Belfast. No matter what show you see, you are guaranteed to get a standing ovation in Belfast at the Grand Opera House. You are, no matter what happens.
Yes, yes, you are. That's part of the deal.
The other thing I wanted to mention as well is the use of mythology on the show as well, and the amount of mythical creatures and mythical characters. I didn't realize there were so many of them, and you even get an appearance in the show from Santa Claus.
Yes, I'd forgotten about Santa Claus because, of course, Narnia, under the dreadful domination of the White Witch, is the place where winter extends and Christmas never happens. But the sign that Aslan is on the move and is coming to save the day, but signs of spring, but also Santa Claus distributing his presents. So that was rather fun. Yes, it was. And it's a nice counterpoint to the rather satanic creatures surrounding the White Witch who are quite fearful.
They were. I mean, that for some quite young children, that could be quite traumatizing for them, I thought.
I would think so. It was a bit like the characters, the orcs or whatever they're called in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yes, they were nasty.
Right, it's that time now for us to make our final verdicts on what we thought of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. This week, we're voting with the wardrobe, of course. And so I'll begin by giving this spectacular performance with great stagecraft, some great music, some great movement as well, a very dark piece. And I'm going to give it 3.5 wardrobes. Jane, what about you?
Yes, I'm going to give it 3.5 wardrobes too. We are in harmony now. Maybe it's the Aslan effect.
Maybe it is. Well, as always, thank you for watching. If you want to get in touch with us, if you've seen The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe this week, or there's anything else you've seen in the theatre, let us know about it on our social media pages. And just to finish on, we're going to finish with some theatre news because, Jane, we're thinking about Christmas already, and I have a clip standing by because look who's coming back this Christmas. So yes, returning to the Lyric Theatre, we've had the big announcement this week. A Christmas Carol is back.
Brilliant. It's interesting because there's going to be a symposium soon at Queen's, which is about the groups in theatre. And yet I would say in Northern Ireland, we have some of the best and most kind of prevalent women writers, directors, actors. there's no shortage. And of course, the great Mary Jones has adapted Dickens' classic Christmas Carol, and I think done a brilliant job. I have to say, I'd go and see it again tomorrow, but in fact, I'll be going to see it again in a few months' time. So that's good enough for me.
Exactly, and of course we'll let you know what we think of A Christmas Carol as well. And as you say, I mean, there's a lot of great females in theatre at the minute, especially at Christmas time. You've got Alison Harding, who's written the Christmas show at the Mac this year. Caroline Curran is back with her regular Christmas offering, and Lisa Harker, of course, is back with the sequel to Belfast Actually as well.
Yes, yes, there will be lots of female power, girl power, you could say, woman power, coming to our theatres this Christmas. And happy days, really.
Yeah, now let's just take a quick look at the mainland now as well. And talking about great females, I see that two of the members of the cast of Derry Girls have just been signed up for the National Theatre's latest production of Playboy of the Western World.
Well, I think that's very good news because they were great actors. They are great actors, and I think they're going to bring something very special to that.
So from Derry Girls, that's Nicola Coughlan, who of course we saw recently in Bridgerton. She was also in the Barbie movie, and probably the one from Derry Girls who's had the most success since the show finished. And of course also Siobhan McSweeney from Derry Girls is also going to be in the Playboy of the Western World. And you can catch that at the Littleton Theatre from the 4th of December this year, and that's running right through until the 28th of February.
I would like very much to get over and see that, actually.
Definitely. There we go. We'll have Robin and Jane in the stalls live from London, possibly coming soon as well. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you back in the stalls sometime very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.